Professor Sarah Williams. Congratulations for your Honorary Doctorate Award.
Oh, thank you so much. I am really honoured and very humbled by the award. Thank you.
Thank you. We are actually very grateful to have your presence here today. So I have a few questions for you. So the first one would be, so from your experience, how can any dual degree collaboration grow into a true two-way communication, especially beneficial for students across like global perspectives and contexts?
Do you know, that is such a good question, and so many partnerships actually fall short of that because they end up inevitably with one partner being slightly more in control than the other. I think the key to developing meaningful exchanges is really involving the students right from the very beginning. What do they want to get out of it? You know, what do the students in one country want to get out of it? What do the students in another? Get them working on projects together. Get them collaborating with each other. Forget about the faculty. We're just there to facilitate the discussion between students. And I think if it's student-led and students are really involved in developing it and learning from each other, then it's got the potential to really change their lives in quite a meaningful way.
Okay, I really like the way when you said forget about the faculty. We have to facilitate the students' need.
Exactly.
Yes, it's one of the major thing that we have to focus on. Okay, I agree.
Yeah, we're here to improve their lives, to help them to improve their lives, and to give them opportunities they wouldn't have had before. So let's give the stage to them.
Understood. Thank you so much. So that goes to my second question. All right, given your work on gender, identity, and communication, how do you see collaborations with other institutions, say, for example, Spectrum International University College? They can actually help us create a cultural understanding and ethical awareness for future global professionals?
That's a very good question. I mean, as you say, my work is very much interested in equity and equality, and in particular, the equality of women's experiences. So I am interested and invested in women and girls education and elevating the position of women and girls across the world. You know, I'm a very firm believer that we will live in a peaceful, quieter, more prosperous world if women have true equity across the globe. So I would like to think that global partnership gives us that position where we can say, look, what is the value of women's contributions here? How do we honour women's contributions to life, to society, to education, and how do we give them the education, the skills, and the confidence, actually, and the platform that they need to lift themselves up and lift everybody up? You know, when women and girls are educated, everybody is lifted. Because, you know, we're mothers, and we'll go back to our children, we'll go back to our homes, and we take our education back into the home. And I think that's why it's so important.
That's why they say behind every successful man, there is a woman.
There's a woman.
It brings me to the last and the third question. It's kind of interesting because I went through one of your website on a commentary in Buckinghamshire New University, where you actually told that women are still subjected to soft power roles in PR, even after 40 years.
Yes.
That's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a peculiar thing. I mean, I think we're probably still about 135 years away from true equality between men and women. We're a long way away from it. But that particular piece of research was looking at how women's roles have changed in the last 40 years. So in the 1980s, an American scholar called Elizabeth Toth, she wrote about the Velvet Ghetto in public relations. And this idea of the Velvet Ghetto is that once women dominate in a particular field, it becomes somehow less important, somehow less powerful. And that's not just public relations. You could apply that to nursing, you could apply that to teaching. Lots of professions where women predominantly work, you find that they are deprioritized as professions. So what do we do about that? I mean, I think a lot of that speaks to society and the way that society values women's work, the way that women's work is perceived. It's perceived as somehow less than, not as good as, and that's completely wrong. You know, if we're talking about teaching, education, communication, these are fundamental skills in society. These are the fundamental building blocks of any good society, and women are the builders. We are there. We're the ones building this society. And I think that we need to treasure, highlight, celebrate this soft power that women have, because that's the foundation of the society that we become.
That's very interesting, very detailed. But how can partnership between global institutions, let's say BNU
Yes.
and SIUC,
Yes.
how can we create those awareness on this?
I think by working meaningfully together, I think we've got to live those values. We've got to say, look, this means something to us, so we will work together to put in place things that can bring women's experiences, bring women's education to the forefront. So that might mean that we work together on girls' scholarship schemes. We might work on girls' education programs in schools. We might work together on initiatives that champion women's engagement in particular areas of society. And I think that's something that we can do together really powerfully.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor Sarah Williams. It was a wonderful, short, and meaningful interview. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.